We can make endorsements and help you out on a lot of these other elections that are on the ballot. The first of those is for our 3rd Congressional District representative to the United States Congress. Now, this is the seat that I ran for last year. I'm aware of the challenges and the difficulties that come with this, but also with the opportunities we have to replace someone that is as generic Republican as you could get and as boring as you could ever hope for if you're a Republican. But he's challenged by someone who has a great resume, who, like Mr. Lieberman, is not just a Georgia transplant, like Mr. Lieberman, but is also an American transplant. He understands the struggles that so many of us face, and he has the heart and the compassion to give back for us. Please welcome again, after he came and visited with us last month, Dr. Val Almonord, the Democratic nominee for the United States Congress in Georgia's 3rd Congressional District. Dr. Almonord, thank you again for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Coweta County. Thank you, Democrats. I am glad to be here. Well, my name is Val Almonord, and I will be your next congressman. I am confident with your help that I will be elected. As Chuck said, I am an immigrant. I came to the United States in 1969. I landed in New York, where I went to school, do my high school and college. But something happened to me. I fell in love with this country. This is the greatest country in the world. And myself, if you like something, you need to defend it, you need to protect it. So after I graduated from college, I joined the Army. Some say I was crazy, but I love it. After one time the Army, then I went to medical school. After medical school, I went to continue to serve. So I joined first, I went to practice in a medically underserved area for 4 years. And after that, I joined the military healthcare on the Air Force. After 5 years in the Air Force, I transferred to the Army. And that landed me in Fort Benning, Georgia. And I stayed there after 35 years of service. I retired 2 years ago. While I was there, I went to Troy State to get a master's degree in healthcare administration. I'm a born servant. I love to serve my country. A lot of friends and colleagues tell me, hey, you are a doctor who makes a lot more money in private practice. But I choose to serve my country. I choose to continue to serve. While I'm still in Fort Benning, I was still active in politics in Muscogee County. I was a delegate to Georgia Democrat Party, and also I was a vice chair to the Muscogee County Democratic Committee. I like to serve, and I want to continue to serve. I look around, I see how the Georgia families difficult to survive today economy. I look around, I see how the COVID-19 exposed the inequality between the haves and the have-not, between the white and the brown and the blacks. COVID-19 is a virus that exposes what happened. More brown and black people die from the COVID-19 because most of us has what you call complication or underlying problem, medical problems. And why do we have that? Why does the white have the same underlying problem we have? We have the same anatomy, the same physiology. Well, most of the black or brown people, they don't go regularly to the doctor, physical examination. The doctor might find out, hey, you got a little high blood pressure. He tell you, well, don't eat too much salt anymore. and that could resolve it. He might find got high cholesterol. Say, well, don't eat this, don't eat that. He might resolve it. He might have having diabetes. He say, well, too much sugar. And that's the underlying problem you have. But you have to go for preventive care. You don't go preventive care because you can afford to go. You don't have good health insurance. And even if you're working, you make minimum wage. Since you don't have no pain, you're not going to pay the doctor. Well, you still have to pay your rent. You have to pay your feed your children. It's hard for somebody to tell you, oh, go to the doctor, because you have nothing hurting. And that's something, if I got elected, I will make sure that I either sponsor or support a bill that would provide quality access care, quality healthcare access to all Georgians at affordable cost. Drug prescription also at a affordable cost, because right now the Medicare cannot go to the big pharmaceutical company and say, hey, this is too expensive. Why? Because Congress stopped them. The big lobbyists in Washington stopped them from doing that. And Medicare is the biggest buyer of drugs. It should be able, Medicare should be able to negotiate with a big pharmaceutical company to decrease the price of prescription. And I will see that Medicare can do that. My opponent supports the administration efforts to take away your health care, weakening Social Security, dismantle Medicare and Medicaid. And right now in the middle of the pandemic, there's a bill in front of the Supreme Court to repeal Obamacare. When you need to send someone to Congress, someone go there to make sure that events, we cannot stop Supreme Court from repeal it, but we can introduce another bill right away. I look around and talking to people in the district, education seems to be a problem, especially in the rural area. We have a school, different type of school. You have some school with a high quality education, some school with don't. That depends on where the school is located. I think that should change. Should get every student a chance to get good quality education. Vote by internet. Right now, because of the COVID virus, they send the kid home. They say, okay, go home. You do your homework at home. But some of them could not do it because they do not have broadband internet. Or some who have broadband internet, they could not, it's not good enough for them. It's not strong enough for them to do any homework on it. Another subject that I care about is the systemic racial injustice. Just like healthcare, just part of it. The police is part of it. You know, it's far more likely for a young black man or black or brown man to end up in jail or to get abused by the police. It's a fact. However, I think we can solve that problem by reforming the police. By reforming the police, restructure the police. That should start at the beginning, at recruitment. Every single law enforcement officer or police should be investigated and vetted by the GBI first to see if it's not part of some previous hit group before you join the law enforcement. And the police officer or the law enforcement officer should reside in the community where he serves. It should be part of the community. Keep the money they pay right in the community. Don't go buy a house in the suburb or somewhere else and just come to work. You should stay there, pay the tax there, be part of the community. All right, Chuck, I want to save a little time to answer any questions you might have.
Dr. Almonord, thank you again for coming and talking with us and sharing your vision. First question, what's the website people can go to learn more about you, to donate, and to also volunteer for those phone banks that are going to be so critical going forward?
Well, you know, money, it's the heart of the campaign right now. I hope it wasn't like that. I hope I could have said, you know, I don't need money, but yes, I need it very much. You could go to almonordforcongress.com. Almonord, that's ALMONORD for Congress, FOR Congress.com. Any donation is welcome, and I appreciate even $1. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you, Val. We do have time for one more quick one. You mentioned a lot about, obviously you've got a background as a medical doctor and all your work in that. You mentioned how the COVID crisis has impacted America and specifically the African American community. As Joe Biden pointed out the other night, it's claimed the lives of 1 in 1,000 African Americans. So when we elect you to Congress and healthcare reform starts coming up, can you tell us a little bit more about where you see that going, whether that's a public option or a full single payer solution for us?
Now, the way I see it, the healthcare bill is passed, make it affordable to anyone who wants it. If you want it, you should have it. But if you already got your private insurance and you're happy with it, you should be able to keep it. You want to keep you happy with your private insurance, okay, that's fine. But if you're not happy with it, or you need it, or you want it, you should be able to have it, and you should not be too expensive, regardless of your income. You should be able to have it, and you should provide you the same amount of coverage that the private insurance provides you.
All right, Dr. Almonord, thank you again for joining us tonight and sharing with us your vision for the United States Congress and how you can represent the 3rd Congressional District better than Representative Ferguson can do for us. We appreciate you running, especially coming from me. I know exactly the strain and the toil this puts on you, especially in the month of October. I can't imagine doing that in the middle of a pandemic and in the middle of all the virtual education we're doing and everything else. So again, thank you for stepping up to the plate. Thank you for running hard for us. And thank you for fighting for the people of Georgia so that we can have a better future.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it.
Our next set of races